Referees absolutely screwed the New Orleans Saints today. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello and welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, here for a little bit of a bonus video here on NFL Week 10 Sunday, as I just felt I had to make a separate video on the Saints and Broncos game, as I felt that the New Orleans Saints were absolutely screwed. And we're not going to talk about the entire game. We're just going to talk about the individual play in which the Saints had just scored a touchdown. Brandon Cooks, I believe, over the middle. The game was tied 23-23. They attempt to kick an extra point to go ahead 24-23. Now, this extra point is blocked by Justin Simmons, the safety for the Denver Broncos, and justifiably so. Nothing wrong with that. This ball is then picked up by Will Parks. And remember, the NFL has recently changed the rule for two-point conversions. If the defense can recover or, intercept or turn the ball over or whatever and run the ball back, they can get 2 points. Okay, fine. Will Parks is running down the sideline, inexplicably, by the way, because no one's even close to him. I don't know why he was deciding to straddle the sideline, but whatever. Will Parks, another Broncos safety, picks up the ball, starts straddling down the sideline, attempting to run it back for 2 points. Is successful doing so. However, we can see by the replay that, wait a minute, he might have stepped out of bounds. So they go back, they look at the official review, the referees convey and confer and whatever they do, and they decide inexplicably, unexplainably, that somehow Will Parks did not step out of bounds and that this was indeed a correct or call on the field, that it was a two-point conversion, that he did not step out of bounds. And this is an absolutely egregious call. This is an absolutely blasphemous call that we saw on display this afternoon, as clearly Will Parks stepped out of bounds. You can look at the video on YouTube. I'm sure NFL has it up by now. I can't put it in this video because of copyright reasons, but he clearly stepped out of bounds, and with the power of replay, everyone had the ability to zoom in to say, look at his damn foot. I thought at least a third of his foot was out of bounds, at least a quarter of his foot out of bounds, from his damn toe to his damn heel, out of bounds. Clearly. Now, the problem, I guess you could say, was that the moron, he's not a moron, but the player was wearing white shoes. Will Parks was wearing white shoes and the sideline was white. Okay, so some of the referees, I guess, maybe couldn't see with their glasses. Oh, did he really step out of bounds? I'm not sure. That could be his shoe. That could be the sideline. But come on, man. He was clearly out of bounds. And this game is so substantial, so significant for both teams. Not only both teams, but teams outside of both teams, as the Raiders and the Chiefs are begging, hoping for the Broncos to lose this game, and also some other AFC wildcard contenders. And as for the Saints now, this is a team that started to make some strides, started to make some wins, getting some momentum on their side as they move towards the playoffs. This loss almost certainly will remove them from that picture. I mean, they're still going to compete, but if they lose this week also in Carolina, then they have no chance. This was a huge game for them as they tried to build momentum and even try to make the playoffs, and this blown call, absolutely blown call, removes that possibility. And I've been absolutely almost disgusted by some of the calls by the referees this year. I was on the record in my Titans and Packers recap from earlier today that I thought Jeff Triplett should be fired for the game that he officiated between the Titans and the Packers today. I'm not sure who made this call. I'm not sure who the head referee was because I didn't watch the entire game. I just watched the highlights in this specific play. But man, I think some heads have to roll, some suspension, some fines, whatever you have to do, because this is an egregious call. This is a horrible mistake. And just if it happens in the heat of the game, like you call it inbounds, whatever, you have the ability to go to replay and you still end up with the wrong conclusion. That is absolutely absurd. We can all see on the replay that Will Parks clearly stepped out of bounds. And even then, some of y'all in the comments are going to say, no, he didn't. Look, if we can poll 100 people, 90 people are going to say he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds, okay? Because we can't agree on anything. That's just human nature. But if 90 of us can agree, yeah, he probably stepped out of bounds. That was probably the right call to make. And yet, that is not the call that they made. They're in the 10% that would say that he did not step out of bounds. And that's just absolutely absurd, a horrible call, and a substantial call, as we're talking about two teams that are competing for the playoffs, two teams that needed this win badly. The Broncos have been reeling lately, and the Saints have been rolling lately, and now that is completely reversed because of this just god-awful call. What a horrible call by this officiating crew, and I feel real sorry for this New Orleans Saints team as they lose this game. You know, we're not saying they would have won the game, because obviously they probably would have went to overtime, or they would have had to have stopped the Broncos before they even went to overtime. But man, you can't lose games like this. And this officiating crew, man, they need to get some suspensions and some fines, because you can't let this happen. To me, you cannot allow this type of call to happen. This just egregious call that ruined the Saints' chances of winning this football game. Just terrible, just awful. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on this terrible call in the Saints and Broncos game. What are yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and most importantly to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.